Many years ago, Barbara Berry of Muleshoe wrote an official Christmas card to my late father, Gil Lamb, and his staff, and every Christmas since the 1960s, either he or I have read this poem on the mule train. And I'm going to leave it in its original version. Some of these people are deceased, and some of them have moved from Muleshoe, but many of you will remember. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and Vixen got sick. Nobody guessed it, not even a tick. Santa got all loaded, and first thing they knew, the reindeer were bundled, and away they all flew. They were going to houses and making their rounds. Santa was filling stockings in leaps and bounds. They made it to Muleshoe. Then Vixen gave out. Santa landed his sleigh and looked all about. Main Street was deserted for all its gay trim. Everyone was at home waiting for him. He leaped from his sleigh and raced to the phone, rang for Dr. Gleason, but he wasn't at home. Scratching his head and realizing his plight, he glanced all around him, and old Pete was in sight. He approached with caution, looked up and down. Old Pete just stood there, then suddenly turned around. Pete said, "Now I've had company of all shapes and sizes, but you, dear Santa, are a sight for the eyes. If you're having trouble, if there's something I can do, just let me know. I'll do it for you." "Oh my," replied Santa, "I am in a spot. I wonder if Vixen will make it or not. Haney is closed and Jerry's on call. 7 fine reindeer just can't make it at all." Pete thought it over, of what he could do. Nothing came to his mind, though all the people he knew. Then Pete gave his answer, yet with a sigh. "Since I knew Morgan Locker, I probably can fly." Santa turned to Vixen and gave him a lift, and Christmas Eve night, old Pete took Vixen's shift. They made all the rounds and were back before dawn. By then, old Vixen was fit as a fawn. They switched back around into their old places. Then, as before, they wore their own faces. But away before sunup, when Gil Lamb went to work, driving down the boulevard, his head gave a jerk. He glanced at old Pete. Then his face turned red because he thought Pete wore antlers on his head. Then quickly away dear old Santa flew and thought of his new friend, a Muleshoe mule. And that was a Christmas card that we received one Christmas Eve from Barbara Berry of Muleshoe. Thank you, Barbara. It has been a joy and a delight to read it every Christmas since the 1960s when you wrote it. I think she was at home that Christmas with her children who were young at the time, and she wrote it sort of for them as well and shared it with my late father.